Did you know that for this movie, one of the grabber's victims is called the Paperboy? The Paperboy is a reference to Johnny Gosch, a paperboy from Iowa who was on a route with his dog Gretchen and disappeared. His dog was found later, but Johnny's disappearance remains unsolved to this day. The Black Phone is a Blumhouse production from 2021. I remember when this movie came out, I heard people talking about it, mainly about Ethan Hawke's performance. I didn't see this movie in theaters. I kind of waited. I think it looked a little creepy to me. I eventually got around to seeing it. I've seen it a couple times now. I really do enjoy this movie a lot. I have a lot of great things to say about this movie. There are a couple things I didn't like, but I'll save those for the end of the review. First thing I liked is the plot and the characters. The plot of small town, kids are disappearing, and there's this guy called the Grabber who takes kids and keeps them in his basement, and he plays games with them, and they are never seen again. I kind of like the aesthetics there, just like the whole small town. Everybody knows everybody, and when there's a character like the Grabber in town, everyone's on high alert, and they never know who's going to be the next victim. And most of the time, they assume that once the kid goes missing, they're never found. It's one of those really sad moments. It's one of those really sad things, but at the same time, it's been done a bunch, but this movie is a little different with how they approach the just kind of the build up to the main character Finney being abducted. Like all of his friends got abducted, and it only seemed inevitable that he would be the one to be kidnapped soon. Then he starts to be in the mindset of all the kids before him. What did they do to try to get out? Like it's a game. Like I like the game here. I like the deductions and the figuring out that Finney is trying to, problem solve all these different ways of trying to get out, and he really does try his best too. He really just like immerses you in this, just kind of this game that the Grabber is playing, and then we get introduced to the Black Phone, and that's the main premise of the movie, the magical, supernatural properties of the Black Phone, and how all the kids before him give him at least a little bit of knowledge to pass on to help him navigate the game faster than they did. He's kind of like, in a way, he's kind of like the final boy, or like final girl. He's like the final boy in this movie, and he a lot of good character development for him. He's facing his fear. The performances were great. I really enjoyed the performances both for Finney and Gwen. There were a couple moments in the movie that actually kind of caught me off guard with Gwen's character and what she has to go through to convince people, specifically her father, that the gift she has is real. She's not like her mother. When I first saw this movie, that scene really caught me off guard. Of all the scenes in the movie, I thought it was pretty intense. It's a good scene to really show you like what these kids are putting up with, how vulnerable they are, and how susceptible they can be to tragic things like the Grabber and, Gwen dealing with the fact that her brother may not be safe. But of course, the biggest performance that I liked, that a lot of people were raving about, was Ethan Hawke's performance as the Grabber. I've never seen Ethan Hawke really play a bad guy before. He is pretty good. It was evident that, let's just say, his elevator didn't go to the top floor. Like, he wasn't playing a full deck. He was on drugs probably a lot of the time, but he had this sick, twisted game he would like to play, and it had to go a certain way. He was very like OCD with it. Like the kids that he kidnapped had to do something in a certain order, or it messed up the entire game. And then just how he is really conniving, really sneaky, just hiding in plain sight. Kind of the connection he forms with Finney. Like once again, it's kind of the sign of like Finney is the final boy. Finney is going to be able to connect, to relate to the Grabber that no other boy has been able to do before. It also may expose a weakness that the Grabber has, and Finney would be able to play on maybe the Grabber's emotions, or kind of blindside him a little bit more than everyone else could. But yeah, he was creepy, what you would expect from kind of a serial kidnapper. So I'm very excited to see what more Ethan Hawke can offer the character of the Grabber in The Black Phone 2, coming out just next week. So the things I didn't like I think a lot of people have the same thoughts when it comes to what the Black Phone could have done better. I wouldn't say there's any plot holes. People are saying there are massive plot holes in this movie. I've looked into some stuff. I've watched some reviews on it. And I think really what it comes down to, it's not plot holes per se. It's more their personal preference. It's a little bit of weak writing, not a lot of detail that's being fleshed out. Maybe some just dumb decisions made by production, by the writers, by the characters themselves that don't make a whole lot of sense if you want to look at it through the scope of reality. Like, realistically, a lot of this stuff wouldn't get past a real life kidnapper. One, the grabber is pretty negligent. He's not very observant of his surroundings when it comes to Finney. The Black Phone, as cool as the Black Phone is, and the magical, mysterious properties, I never really understood the whole. There's a couple moments where, one, why does the grabber even have the phone down there to begin with? Because he says he can hear when the phone rings, but he doesn't like listen to conversations. Like he never picks up the phone. So why does he have just this random phone in the basement that doesn't really work? I mean, he said it was kind of reminds him of his childhood. Maybe it's a nostalgic thing, but then again, he's a twisted individual. He has his own reasons. Just like the nature of the Black Phone, as cool as it is, I kind of wanted a little more detail surrounding it. Like, why was Finney the only one who could actually listen to it? Why couldn't the other boys not use the phone, but Finney could use the phone? But other than that, this is a really good movie. I always love seeing this movie once in a while. Just a good horror flick. And I'm very, very excited for the Black Phone 2 coming out next week. I've heard some really great reviews on it. Some people are saying it's maybe even better than the first one, so I'm very excited for that. So for the Black Phone, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 Mudflaps. So remember, leave me a thumbs up and drop in the comments below. What is your favorite movie that has to do with a phone? See you soon.